Have you ever wanted to know how to keep your very own pet crayfish? Well, today you're going to learn. Today I'm going to be telling you all the basics and everything you need to know about keeping pet crayfish. But before we start, make sure to like and subscribe because we're almost at 1,000 subs. Let's get into it. First off, when I say crayfish, I mean like freshwater yabby, like a freshwater crayfish, not a lobster or anything that lives in the sea, just a freshwater crayfish. The first step is to plan what you want to have in your tank. Plan how big your tank is going to be, and plan what kind of crayfish you want to have. So, go to your local pet store and have a look. Maybe you'll find a crayfish that you want there. And you can also have a look at the kinds of tanks that are available there. Okay, now the important bit, the tank. Crayfish aren't really picky with their tank, but there is a sort of rule that I have. The rule that I have is just that you can't have a really tiny tank for your crayfish. It isn't comfortable for your crayfish, and if you have any other fish or anything, it's definitely not going to be comfortable. It won't end well. For an adult crayfish, I'd aim for about 10 gallons or more. For babies, you can maybe get away with something a bit smaller. But you have to remember, crayfish come in all sizes and shapes. It's really hard to find one perfect number, but for a large adult crayfish, I'd definitely say more than 10 gallons. If the tank is too tall, the crayfish can't really swim up there. It kind of just scuttles around on the ground. So the more like ground area it has, the better, because it can do more things. Now for the fun bit. Okay, so you've got your tank and you're ready to pick your crayfish. Now, you can always catch your own crayfish and then put it in your tank, but I wouldn't recommend. It could be illegal, and in Australia we are super tight on border security and invasive species and everything. So the safest option is to just buy it from the store, and the staff can help you there. Once you have your crayfish, you need to feed it. Now, crayfish eat lots and lots of things. They're not really picky. In fact, they eat each other, fish, like vegetables, literally everything. So there are a few things to avoid, but pretty much anything you can think of, really. Just as long as it sinks to the bottom, they'll eat it. But you can buy specially made pellets for them. You can live feed them. You can do really anything with them. They don't mind. Like, they like carrots, grapes, pellets, anything really. There are a few other details that I need to mention, but they don't really deserve their own segment, so I'll just put them all together. Crayfish are really territorial, so please don't put lots of crayfish together in one tank. In fact, I pretty much have another rule: one tank equals one crayfish. Don't even try to put lots of them together. Unless you have something ridiculous like a 50 or 60 gallon tank, then maybe you can get away with one or two. Okay, maybe more than one or two. 3 or 4. But still, don't put lots of them in one tank. It won't end well. They'll end up eating each other. Just don't do it. Crayfish and fish don't always get on either, so please note that fish will try and eat them. If the fish is big enough, it will probably try and eat the crayfish, depending on what species the crayfish and fish is. It varies, but still, I don't like keeping big fish with my crayfish, and the crayfish will eat any smaller bottom feeders, so try to get fish that don't hang around the bottom and aren't particularly aggressive. Now, about molting, crayfish molt quite often. Younger ones molt more than older ones, and one day you'll probably just wake up and see that there's 2 crayfish, and you'll be like panicking, wondering what happened. But actually one of them is just the old skin that it had, and it sheds. In fact, most crayfish actually end up eating the old skin to get energy from it. I don't know, but they just end up eating it anyway. So if you see it, just leave it in there for a little bit. The crayfish will probably eat it, and it's totally normal for your crayfish to take a while to get out of its old shell. But if it's been a while and you're kind of getting worried about your crayfish, you should probably take it to a vet. Now this is a fact that most people don't actually know, and that fact is crayfish are great escape artists. Like, they are really good at escaping. They can climb stuff, jump out, like, trust me, they have escaped before. Now, you need to keep a glass lid or some other lid on top, because trust me, they will probably try to escape at least once. They're like really good at escaping. So, and if you find your crayfish trying to escape, that's probably a sign that it needs like less food, more food, something like that. There's probably a reason why it's trying to escape. So yeah, if you you find your crayfish like on the floor in the middle of the night, that's actually pretty common. Like, I've walked out in the middle of the night and my crayfish has just been chilling on the floor. So yeah, make sure not to step on it and try to slowly introduce it back into the water, otherwise it can drown again. Now, this is a very popular topic, crayfish breeding. I've never done it before, but I know quite a bit about it. It's actually really, really hard. Identifying crayfish and everything, that's a whole different video. I have a few videos on my channel, which you can look at, which go in depth about breeding. Well, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you can. We're really close to 1,000 subs, and if you have any other questions, just put them in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. Also, if you write "I subscribed" into the comments box, you might actually get a free shout out too. So make sure to do that. I've already done a shout out video before, so just add your comments and you might get a shout out too.